Hey guys, what's up? It's Fern. Thank you so much for joining me for another Planty video. I do believe that this is going to be the last video that I'm posting before Christmas, so I just want to take a second to quickly wish everybody a very Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays. I hope that you are able to relax and enjoy the weekend with loved ones. It has been quite a year, if I do say so myself, so I'm very much looking forward to just taking a few days off. Thank you so much for being here on my channel. There's nothing more that I could have asked for as a Christmas gift than to hit 100,000 subscribers, and as we know, I did. So yeah, I actually have a whole video coming out kind of with that topic slash a little giveaway, so that will probably be coming out in the next couple of weeks. So we'll get more sentimental then, but yeah, I just did want to say a quick thank you so much and happy holidays. Today we are going to be talking about my favorite plants for the month of December. I think I'm actually going to do like a big wrap-up video of like the plants that have been the best for me throughout the whole year. Kind of similar to, I did like the best of the growing season video, I think, with that, and I really enjoyed filming that, so I think I'm gonna do like a wrap-up one for the whole year. But for today, we are just focusing on the plants that have really been catching my eye over the past month, and I will say, my collection has had a rough go for the past little while, but I'm finally starting to feel on top of things again and see my plants responding to that in a positive way. I'm seeing a lot of new growth and just fun things happening around, so I'm very, very grateful for that. So the first plant that I have been loving lately is one that I honestly never thought I would be praising so much, but I am just so smitten with this plant right now. And it is my jewel orchid. I believe that this is called Ludisia discolor. I still like don't really know what I'm doing with this plant. I don't know much about it. It's probably not potted in the correct substrate, which just dawned on me recently because my friend was asking me questions about repotting her orchid. She has like a Phalaenopsis orchid, and I was like, honestly, I don't really know. Like I know that you can buy an orchid mix or like use sphagnum moss, but then I was thinking about this orchid and I was like, wait, should I have used an orchid mix for this? Because I just put this in my regular potting mix. So honestly, I should do more research on it, but it doesn't seem to mind my lack of knowledge because as you can see, she is blooming. And you guys, like, oh my goodness, I'm so obsessed with this. I love when my plants bloom. It's one of my favorite things ever. So of course this had to go on in this favorites video. I'd been watching, you can see there's another one here that's not open yet. And this one was like that for a very long time, and I was watching it every single day, like waiting for it to open, and it did take quite a while. But yeah, it's finally open, and it has quite a floral scent. When I opened the cabinet, I was like, oh wow, like I could really, because I've moved this into the Millsbow Wide, but when I opened it, I could really smell a floral scent. And I don't know why I'm always surprised when flowers smell like flowers. I'm not the biggest lover of floral scents, but this is a bit of a softer one. It's kind of like a honey floral kind of smelling situation, and it's not like too overpowering. Like you can't smell it when you're far from it. I had a weird experience this morning. Speaking of blooms, my Anthurium forgetii has 2 blooms right now, and I just left them because I'm planning on chopping that plant up anyway, so I was just like didn't really care. I was like, whatever. And then I was near it this morning. I went near my window in my bedroom and I got this super overpowering like chemically smell. It smelled so bad and I didn't know where it was coming from. It smelled like I've been painting a terracotta pot and I had sprayed like the Rust-Oleum spray paint sealant outside the other day, and I thought maybe that smell had like gone on my clothes or something, and I was like, oh my god, that's literally what it smelled like, or like permanent marker, just something really chemically and bad. And then I realized that the Anthurium bloom was there, and I was like, could this be what smells so bad? So I grabbed it and I smelled it, and it was so bad, and that's where the smell was coming from, and I did not know that Anthurium blooms like could smell like that, so very interesting. But yeah, I chopped them off immediately because I was like, no, absolutely not. But these ones, you know, lovely, not causing me any weird smell issues, so very happy about that. But yeah, I'm just really excited to grow this plant. I actually have 2 different types in here. I have this stripy one right here, which literally I'm obsessed. These are so pretty, you guys. Like I cannot get over how pretty like the dark velvety leaves and the pretty white blooms. It's really funny because I think that jewel orchids were actually on one of my plants I dislike videos, and I said that I would never get one, or like I wasn't interested in them. I do recall thinking of like the jewel orchids that have really like weird patterns, like the lightning pattern looking one. I remember thinking of that one when I was talking about that, I think. But yeah, I just had never really been drawn to them, but then I got this as a bonus in a trade and I was like, okay, let's give it a go. And now I'm just like, yeah, really enjoying it. So having a very great experience growing this so far. It's been so easy. I thought it was going to be finicky, but it has not been at all. So I'm just hoping that it's going to continue to grow for me and be happy, and I can watch it get bigger and bloom many times. So yeah. My first plant on the list is my Ludisia discolor. Kind of hard to get a close look at the blooms, but they're very cool. Anyways, yeah, great plant. All right, the next one is another plant that I just never really suspected I would like so much, or actually, you know what? I feel like, okay, so this is Peperomia Hope. I don't have very many Peperomia. I have very limited experience with them. I've never really been like super interested in them. Now I have three different varieties, and I love them. But in the same plants I dislike video where I was knocking on the jewel orchid, I think I also said Peperomia in general, just like all Peperomia. So it's kind of ironic that now in this favorites video I have two plants that I, just really wasn't a fan of, and now I really like. So things can change, tastes can change, and now that I've experienced growing both of these plants, I can say that I really like them. Anyways, yes, this is my Peperomia Hope, which as you can see is a trailing Peperomia. It has these really cool round leaves. Let me see if I can grab this vine. There we go. So yeah, really cool round leaves. This honestly gives me Hoya vibes. Like it's a succulent leaf. This plant has been very hardy so far. I received this as cuttings from a friend in, I think, the beginning of the summer-ish. I let them root for a while, and I didn't really think much of this plant. Like I've had a lot of people comment that they think I would enjoy this plant, so it had always kind of been in the back of my mind, like, oh, maybe one day I'll try that plant out. And then I got the cuttings, rooted them up, potted them, and I just kind of left it on my Millsbow on top of my cabinet, kind of just like, it wasn't really getting great conditions because I wasn't really prioritizing it. But after I set up my forest vertical garden thing with the grow lights, I decided to put this plant on it because I wanted some trailing plants. And ever since it's been on there under a grow light, it has just been growing so well for me. So I've really been enjoying, like, every time I look over there, I'm just like, okay, yes, like I'm just digging this plant so much. Y'all know I love round leaves. Well, if you're new here, maybe you don't know that, but hi, hello. My name is Fern and I like round leaves, round foliage. I have my silver dollar vine, same thing, round leaves, kind of similar to this actually. It's like more silver though, more of like a blue kind of green, and it's very cool. And then my Hoya obovata is another one that I absolutely love. I also have the variegated version of that. So yeah, round leaves are something I'm very into. I love the look of that. I just feel like it's so unexpected. I don't know, it's just very cool. So yeah, I've just been loving how hardy this plant is, how well it's been growing, and just in general seeing it kind of start thriving once I'm giving it the right conditions, Again, this is a plant that I don't really know too much about regarding conditions and care, and I'm just kind of doing what I think, and it seems to be working well. So yeah, it seems to be really happy in that setup, and yeah, it's just continuing to grow, and now I'm very excited to have a longer and more full pot of this one day. I'll probably take some propagations eventually, repot them in, and then, just keep repeating that until it gets nice and lush. So yeah, I've just really been loving this guy. Okay, the next plant on my list is one that I'm pretty sure y'all really like because I always get a ton of comments about it whenever I show it. And it is my Philodendron tortum, which, okay, look at how big this plant is getting. Like, oh my goodness. He is getting so massive. I think that I might actually be putting out a video all about this plant just because I do get so many questions, and I need to figure out a staking situation because, as you can see, I just have this small little skinny wooden stake in here, and he's growing over it. So I'm leaning towards doing a bamboo stake rather than a moss pole, but I'm undecided, so I'm still thinking about that. Anyways, I've been getting questions about this plant recently because I just haven't shown it that much, and that's because it really was not doing anything for quite a while. In the summertime, I think in August, I came home from a camping trip and the light in my Millsbow Wide had come crashing down onto my plants, and unfortunately one of the plants that was damaged was this Philodendron tortum right here. It snapped off. Actually you can see where it snapped off. So can you see this? There's like this stem right here got snapped off, and then this is the new growth that came shooting out from right there. You can see that node. But for a long time it didn't do anything. I don't know if it was just like recuperating from the shock of that. It was very slow to push out new growth, and I've had people comment saying that this plant is just a slow grower in general, but I really have not found that to be true. I feel like mine is kind of always, when it's well, it's always pushing out a new leaf. Like one will come out and then it'll already be working on the next one, so I'm sure soon I will start seeing a new leaf start to emerge from the caterpillar right here, because I do find it to be just quite a consistent grower. So I do have 2 plants in here, which is very fun because we not only have this leaf that just came out about a week ago, like look at how gorgeous that is. Oh my goodness, it is just so unique. So not only do we have that one, but we also have another new leaf that is, oh my goodness, this is honestly my hardest plant to show. We have another new leaf right there that is starting to unfurl, which is very, very cool to see. So I love being able to watch 2 leaves come in at once. It is just so cool. Yeah, just an amazing plant. It's doing really well. It's really made a comeback, and I'm just so happy about that. Ever since I started seeing that new growth point coming in, I was like, yes, okay, she's starting to grow again, like thank goodness. So that's why it's in my favorites, because I've just been admiring it so much, because like he's getting big now. He really is getting big now. I guess I can ask y'all in this video, because I have not filmed or done anything with this plant yet, but do you think I should just go with a bamboo stake, or should I go for a moss pole? I'm kind of leaning towards a bamboo stake just because I feel like it just gives a cool kind of like minimalist look with this type of leaf. I think that it would look just like really cool and really sleek, and I think that that support would be enough. I think it would keep sizing up, but if I went with a moss pole, it could potentially help it size up even more and get even larger leaves. So I don't know, it's a hard decision, but like I said, I am leaning to the bamboo pole. So leave me a comment down below and let me know what your vote is, how I should stake this up. Anyways, yeah, that's about it for him, but very happy that he's happy again and growing again, and definitely one of my favorite philodendron. Okay, next, I'm noticing a theme here. A lot of these are plants that I like never thought I would like so much, and now they've made it to my favorites video. So yes, this is a Hoya that I honestly have never really been a super big fan of. I mean, I've always known it has potential because I've seen photos of other people's, but mine was just never really doing it for me. So this is my Hoya quinquinervia, and I've had this for probably coming up to around 2 years now. And like I said, I've never really been super into it, but just recently it's really started growing and filling out, and I've gotten it onto this trellis, and I just think that it looks so cute, and I've just really been like honestly quite into it. I've also moved this to my bedroom, and now I'm seeing it more often rather than having it like hidden in the back of one of my cabinets, you know? I find that that really makes a big difference. That's kind of a con of the IKEA greenhouse cabinet. I find that I'm not as interactive with the plants in there. Like, they're so crowded, especially in mine. Like, I really need to kind of give both of my cabinets a makeover because they're just really crowded, and yeah, I just feel like there's a barrier between us, you know? Like, there literally is a physical barrier, but I just feel not as connected to the plants in the cabinet. I don't know if anyone else feels that way or if that's just weird, but the ones that are literally just in my space and I can touch every day and like really notice every day, I tend to feel more connected to. So perhaps that's played a role in me suddenly taking a fancy to this Hoya. But yeah, like I said, it started to grow. It's pushed out this leaf here. This is a new one. I don't know why it has this weird discoloring. The leaf just came out like that, which is interesting. I do tend to get weird coloring on some of the leaves here. Yeah, it gave me like, I've shown this before, but it's given me like light patches in the leaves. So I'm not really sure why it does that sometimes, but one of the reasons that I moved it into my bedroom was because I wanted to have it right close to my Sansi grow bulb, because that grow bulb is very intense. Like, it will burn my plants. So I thought that it would have a good chance to get sun stressed under there, because the Hoya quinquenervia can sun stress beautifully. And whenever I see photos of it, I'm just like, wow, like I would love for mine to get sun stressed someday. So you can see this is a leaf that's coming in right now. It's not fully, it's still a bit soft, so I'm going to be careful, but you can see it does look like it's getting some sun stressing. So I don't know whether that's going to stay or not. Even on this one, you can kind of see. But yeah, it's a really pretty Hoya, especially when it starts filling out like this. I really like the like large leaf with the lighter veins. The splotches on it is sulfur, by the way. Yeah, I'm just starting to get like bigger foliage, and I'm just really liking the way that it's looking. I actually have no idea what the blooms look like on this. It's never bloomed for me. I have traded a couple of cuttings of this plant before. Like I said, I've had it for a while, but I just haven't really fully appreciated it. I'm really trying to prioritize getting more of my Hoya on trellises. This is just kind of hanging off of the top because this actually kind of leans on the varicosum's moss pole beside it, but you don't want to pin your Hoya vines down because they can just die if you do that, so that's why it just kind of is hanging off the top until it's put out more leaves or shot out more vines or whatever it's gonna do. But yeah, just really been appreciating this one, and I honestly don't see people talk about it too much. So if you have one, let me know. But yeah, just one that has really grown on me recently. Alright, next is a philodendron that I am so into right now, you guys. This is climbing to be one of my favorite philodendron, and it is my Philodendron narrow. Probably not what people expected, but yeah, I've just been really appreciating this plant lately. It's so unique, it is so easy to care for, and I'm really trying to get it to climb this moss pole. I've received comments of people telling me that this is not a climbing philodendron, but it can climb, you guys. It can climb. People just, you don't have to have it climb, and a lot of people don't grow it that way, but I want to try growing it that way. And look at this, we have an aerial root right there, and it's gonna start growing into the moss, so we're gonna start seeing some climbing action, and I am so excited. I think I'm so excited about this just because it's not something that you see very often. I feel like a lot of people are really into the climbing velvet philodendrons, which I love as well, don't get me wrong. Like, Philodendron Splendid, one of my all-time favorite philodendron. Those are amazing, but this is just something that's so different. The leaf shape is different. It's not velvet, it's just regular. It's a beautiful deep green. The new leaves tend to come in a bit pinky. This one is kind of like pink and yellow. Like, it's just so cool. You can see down here some of the like pink coloring. This leaf is still kind of unfurling, as you can see, so it's very fresh. But this is just so hardy, so accessible. You can find this at your garden store, you guys, for probably less than $10. And yeah, I just think that it's such a cool plant and really adds something unique to my collection, so I'm very excited to grow it out. I actually just got my Ring of Fire on a moss pole as well. I repotted that and gave it a pull in my last Patreon video, so those of you who are on there would have seen that. But yeah, that's another one that I'm very into and very excited. Obviously, it's very similar to this plant. But yeah, I just feel like this plant can be overlooked sometimes, and it deserves love and recognition. So that's why I wanted to share it with you today, and I've just been extra excited now that I'm starting to see aerial roots coming out and seeing it like potentially start climbing. Like, how freaking cool is that? I cannot wait to update you guys and share this journey of having this plant climb. I'm so excited about it. So yeah, that is that one. That was actually the last. I only chose 5 for this video, so that was the last one that I chose, but when I was grabbing the tortum from my cabinet, one caught my eye. That has been catching my eye a lot recently, so I decided to throw it in here as a bonus. And it's actually a plant that y'all have never seen before, unless you're on my Patreon, then maybe you've seen it. So it is a Nepenthes. I recently placed an order, well, probably about a month ago now. I placed an order and I got 2 new Nepenthes. a plant friend who knows a lot about Nepenthes helped me pick them out and everything, because I've just been wanting to try a couple of different varieties of carnivorous plants. They're something that I'm really interested in, and yeah, I just think that it would be really fun to grow a couple. So they're just babies and they're still kind of getting settled in, but I did just want to share this one with you because it's my favorite so far out of the two of them. This is Nepenthes glandulifera, I think is how you say it. And he came to me with a couple of pictures already. So you can see one right there and one right there. That's quite a big one for the size of this plant. And since its arrival, it has given me a new leaf, this one right here, and a new little, it looks like it's trying to give me a picture on the end there. It's literally so cute. Now, what I really like about this one is that it's fuzzy, and they do actually get quite hairy once they get big. But yeah, the whole plant is just kind of fuzzy. Like the pictures, I don't know, you probably won't be able to see because it's quite fine, and this is obviously a small plant, but the whole thing is fuzzy, and it has a bunch of glands all over it. That's where the name comes from. Like you can see the little dots all over it. Those are all glands. So it's just a very kind of unique plant. I mean, plants don't get much more unique than pitcher plants. Like, let's be real, they're just so quirky and weird and interesting. But this one in particular, I'm really glad that I got this one. Very excited to watch it grow, and it seems to be quite happy. I am no Nepenthes expert, that is for dang sure. I have potted it into sphagnum moss, and it's just living in my greenhouse cabinet. I mostly wanted to have it in there for the light. I have it like pretty high up in the cabinet, so it's getting a lot of light, both of them, and it's doing really well so far. So yeah, I just wanted to share that with y'all because it's just one that I've been quite excited about. Okay, and I did recently get a couple of new planty things that I wanted to highlight in this video as well because I have been just very happy with them. And they are grow lights. They're just cheapy grow lights from Amazon, but I am so impressed, you guys. They do not look cute. They are quite unsightly, not really the vibes, but I don't even care because it's been so dark recently and I've been so worried about my wally grow wall and also the plants hanging on my bed frame. Both of those kind of areas, they're not super close to windows. They don't get a ton of light in the wintertime or even the summertime, if I'm being honest. It's just been something that's on my mind that I'm like, okay, I need to supplement the light. So I decided to get some of those just like arm grow lights, you know? And I'll insert footage of what they look like. So I was originally just shopping for a grow light for my wally grow wall because that was my main concern. So I found one of those arm grow lights. I think it had 3 light panels and they looked pretty wide. So I figured, all right, this will probably give a pretty substantial amount of light to my plants. So I went ahead and ordered that one, and then it arrived and it was so heavy, you guys. I was shook. Like there was no way that it was gonna work for my wally grow wall. So it's very heavy duty feeling, which is good, I guess, but not if you're wanting to like clip it onto a planter on your wall. So that wasn't gonna work. It was just way bigger, bulkier, heavier than I was expecting. So I ended up clipping it onto my bed frame because I was like, well, you know what? These plants can really use some light as well. Does it look good? No. Is it working well? Yes, it's working amazingly. My plants seem so much happier. It's only been on there for a few weeks and I'm already getting so much new growth, especially on my trailing jade. And the new growth is coming in purple, you guys. So I've just been so excited about that because I know that that's a plant that can sun stress, but mine has never received enough light to do that. So seeing the purple leaves come in is so exciting, and yeah, I just feel like it's really happy. So I don't even care what the light looks like. My plants are happy, so I'm happy. And yeah, that's just, you know, in the summertime I'll probably take it off, and if I ever just want my room to be like cute and vibey, then I can take it off as well. It's just a clamp, so that's easy. But yeah, I've just been really impressed with it so far. And then on my wally grow wall, so that one didn't work out for the wally grow, so I hopped back on Amazon and I was like, okay, I'm gonna look for something a little bit smaller. So I found one that has 4 arms, but it's a lot thinner and a bit lighter, so I was like, okay, this is just gonna work better. So it arrived and it does indeed work. I have it clamped onto one of the planters and I have the arms just kind of pointing at each plant, And so far it's working really well. I'm already seeing new growth. I'm already getting like pinkish coloring on my Philodendron Brazil, and these plants have just never really received like a ton of light, like definitely no direct light, so I think that they're very happy. And one of the reasons that I was so concerned about them is because my Philodendron micans up there has propagations that I'm wanting to grow into new vines. I think it has like 3 or 4 cuttings in there, and I was like, there's no way these are actually gonna like grow if it's not receiving light. So now it is receiving light and I'm seeing new growth, and I'm just so excited about it. So yeah, I know, not the cutest setup, but I'm honestly just at a place where it takes so much stress off of me just not having to worry about them like dying and not getting enough light for the winter. So I'm very, very happy with my decision to clamp those lights on there. And like I said, I can just take them off. Like I had company the other night and I just took them off and turned the Christmas lights back on in there, and it's like, you know, no problem. It takes 30 seconds to do that. So yeah, very happy with that. I'll link both those lights down below as well if you're interested in like a budget kind of clamp grow light like that. Anyways, I guess that brings me to the end of this video. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for being here. You guys mean so freaking much to me. Oh my god, I literally can get emotional so fast. It's not even funny. Yeah, thank you for being here. I sincerely hope that you guys are having a wonderful holiday season, and I hope that you have a safe weekend and a happy weekend. I hope that you feel loved and warm and cozy, because y'all deserve that. So thank you so much. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up if you liked it. Leave me a comment down below. I would love to chat with you. I feel like I really fell behind for a while in answering comments, but I'm really trying to stay on top of it again because I just love interacting with you guys. So yeah, I'm doing my best to get back to everyone. All right, thank you guys so much, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!